Good evening, everyone. Cameron, congratulations on the adoption of your newest Mastiff. Interpeas, Sal, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope everyone had a terrific weekend. Fang is kind of an odd name for a dog. I could see maybe naming a wolf that or a wolf hybrid, but naming him Sherman after the Sherman tank, that might be a fitting name for a Mastiff. In case you guys don't know what a Mastiff is, they're big dogs. My sister has a Mastiff. They are big. Good evening, Pippa Dot. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Well, my sister has a Mastiff, and then she also has a Saint Bernard, and they're big. And her daughter has a Great Pyrenees, but my sister pretty much takes care of the dog because my niece is always working. Good evening, Kitty Cool, Juicy Jules. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you both had a terrific weekend. Hope everyone did. Cement Shoes, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Dalia Dippolito is tonight's trivia subject. Dalia Dippolito, the dumbass herself. Yeah, you might be able to figure this one out too, Pippa Dot. All of these questions come from either the court case itself or they come from what's been widely reported in the media. So there isn't any really tricky questions in there tonight. Give it a couple more minutes for everybody to start popping in here. Besides you, thank you everyone for being here who's already here. Give it another minute total, and then we'll get the trivia night going. I'm biased though. My dad was a tanker. Gianna Marie. Good evening, Gianna Marie. Welcome to tonight's trivia. You've sprinkled donut. You've never heard of Dalia Dippolito? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, then everything that we go through tonight, you're going to learn for the first time. Remember to be on all messages, not just top messages. True. Thank you, Kiniku. Left-handed RN. Good evening. And left-handed RN has changed her profile picture. Now there's two. I think that's left-handed RN and someone else in the profile picture with her. You haven't followed it since the True Crime Loser? Why, Steven? Why? True Crime Loser. You'll learn today, huh? If nothing else, these trivia nights are entertainment and educational. Cameron doesn't know much about Dalia either. Well, we're in for a treat tonight then. Purple. Good evening, Purple, and welcome to tonight's trivia. All right, well, let's get this trivia night going, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again to everyone who's here. for Trivia Night. This is the 328th episode of the Crime Trivia. 328. All right. Before we get started, you can read what's on the screen, but basically, in a nutshell, this content is restricted to anyone under the age of 16. Copying or using this, without consent is, prohibited by law. And it's, all this content is not suitable for all audiences. Well, thank you for becoming a member, Left-Hand RN. Welcome to the membership. You'll find a playlist of just member-only videos. I couldn't even bother, I mean, I could be bothered, but I don't even know how many there are, but I know well over, 100 videos that are just there for channel members only, and the live streams as well. But thank you again for joining. All right. Dippolito, he had to die. Trivia is the trivia subject for tonight. You should all see the first question on your screen. What U.S. state did Dalia Dippolito from originally? What state is Dalia Dippolito from originally? Is A, New York, B, Florida, C, Ohio, D, Indiana, or E, other? I don't know why my membership was canceled. Had to renew. It's sometimes the memberships, if the card either expires, that could happen. I mean, then again, you can ask Cement Shoes, how many times has Cement Shoes been unsubscribed to the content and had to resubscribe? These things just happen with YouTube. And it's not anything that we ever do on our end. But what U.S. state is Dalia Dippolito from originally? New York, Florida, Ohio, Indiana, or other? And I will get myself in my little window here in just a second. Where's Will in his little window? There I am. Hello. Little window, little Will. The planet Uranus. The good ones. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Question number 1 of 20. What the heck is that message? You said a message pop up that says to enable chats. I have no idea what is enable chats for what. That was a strange message. Ew. I have no idea what the reference to enable chats for what? Enable chats for don't know. But what state is Dalia Dippolito from originally? The correct answer is B as in boy. She is originally from the state of Florida. Question number 2. Strange behavior, strange request to the court. What strange request did Dalia submit to the court 11 times, only to be denied 11 times? Was it A, to get professional cosmetics? B, to have her hair and nail appointments weekly? C, to only be pictured from the left-hand side? D, to be served prime rib steak weekly? Or E, other? Will touch nothing. I didn't touch anything. It just popped up on my screen. I was like, what the heck is this? It didn't even click on it. It just said, click here to enable, messages or chats or something. I can't remember. Crown Apple. Question number 2. Strange behavior, strange request to the court. Was strange request did Dalia submit to the court 11 times, only to be denied 11 times? The Pippa Dot and Kitty Q are both going with C. Tamara's going with B. So it's Juicy Jules and Sal. Gianna Marie is going with A. Purple's going with B. Only 2 things I know in this world. 1, you can't build a house with no doors. And 2, you can't make a woman feel something that she didn't feel already. The great word spoken from the great man himself, George Strait. To be called Dippolito. Question number 2 of 20. Well, if Sarah Boone can demand alimony of $1,000 a month during her incarceration, who knows, right? All right, question number 2. The correct answer is A as in apple, cement shoes, just in time. And Kitty Coo, changing to A, you got it correct. When it was time for the court case to start, the first trial, she demanded the professional cosmetics, not the ones that they would supply to all inmates, but she wanted high-end luxury cosmetics to look good in court. 11 times she requested these, high-end cosmetics, and they just kept on saying, no, you can go with what we have or nothing at all. And I don't know what brands they are or anything else. It's just that I from the court case, I learned that there was 11 different times you put in the request. She has to supply her own clothing for court, in case you guys didn't know that part. You have to supply your own. They don't supply you with a suit and tie. They will go out and buy you one from a secondhand store, if you for a man or a woman if you need one. If you don't have one, but that you have the right to look like an average person off of the street. But you have the right to look good in the eyes of the jury. With what I'm trying to say. But she wanted high-end cosmetics, and they wouldn't supply them to her. They only said, no, this is what we have, and we have plenty of them, and we have everything you need, just not the brands that you want. So, no, we're not doing it. All right, question number 3. Who was the sole target of the murder for hire plot orchestrated by Dalia Dippolito? Was it A, a U.S. senator, B, her father, C, her husband, D, her sex slave, or E, other? I think they brought Sarah Boone court get-ups at the same thrift store. They bought Wade Wilson's. Blueberry lip gloss. Who was a sole target of the murder for hire plot orchestrated by Dalia Dippolito? Ooh, I got a lot of C's. You're getting channel for Armani. Ooh, I think everyone's going with C for question number 3. Who was the sole target for the murder for hire plot orchestrated by Dalia Dippolito? The correct answer is C as in cat. And good evening, Carly, and welcome to tonight's trivia. Glad you could be here with us. I hope you had a relaxing and fun weekend, Carly. But C as in cat is the correct answer. Her husband was at the center, the target to be murdered for them in the murder for hire plot that she had orchestrated. C as in cat. Did you know Dalia Dippolito is a reality star? Her episode was featured on the TV show Cops and it had been viewed over 30 million times. It was actually a trending video on YouTube 3 times. All right, on YouTube and all their social media platforms, there are, when certain things go, you know, what some people would say going viral, and that is a trending video, is what they're really called, trending videos, where a lot of people are watching it over and over again, and we're talking millions of views. But 3 separate times, her episode that was featured on Cops, which is on their YouTube channel, it actually was trending 3 times. Once when the arrest actually, the arrest happened. 2 when it went to trial the first time, and the third time it went trending was just after the final court case. All right, question number 4. How did law enforcement become aware of the plot to have her husband killed instead of just getting a divorce? Was it A, her accomplice told her is what it should say. B, her husband went to the police. C, her mother told on her. Or D, her gardener was a cop. Or E, other. How did law enforcement become aware of the plot to have her husband killed instead of just getting a divorce? And good evening, Lemon Pie. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. I used to watch a lot of Cops when it first came out. And then I every once in a while I'll watch some of that live PD. But I'm talking on YouTube. I don't watch TV itself, but I watch these things on YouTube. Every once in a while, her lover busted her. He's dead now. Just Jules and Smith are going with A. And good evening, Ricard. She announced it on Instagram. I hope you're having a great day today, Ricard. Thank you for joining us today. Love to do Wade Wilson. I have Wade Wilson down as a suggestion for trivia night. I love On Patrol live. On Patrol. Is that another show, Carly? Oh, hold on. I bumped the mic. We were getting feedback because it loosened the cable up. Hold on. Cover your ears in case it's a high screech. Oh. What the heck did I do? There. Okay. On Patrol. Is that like live PD? On Patrol? Nominate Sarah Boone for trivia night since she's been convicted. I'll write it down, Cement Juice. Sarah Boone. Well, first let me see if she's in here. Oh, I can cross off Dalia because we're doing that right now. Nope, I do not have Sarah Boone, but I'm writing it down now. Sorry for the delay here, ladies and gentlemen. It's in my little book, my little black book. Samsonite Sarah. On Patrol is the same as Live PD, just a new network. Okay, thank you, Carly. There's another one that I've seen some videos of. It's kind of like Live PD, but it's only in like the Minneapolis area, St. Paul. And it's just someone who goes around and follows or is connected somehow in some aspect to the Minneapolis Police Department, but they just go around from call to call to come in over the radio. That's kind of interesting in that aspect. It's kind of like a citizen just following that, okay, a call come in for, this thing or a police chase or something along that line, and they go to it. All right, question number 4, though. How did law enforcement become aware of her plot to kill her husband instead of just getting a divorce? The correct answer is A as in apple. Her accomplice told on her. Her accomplice ratted her out to the police department. Nomination: Jack Unterweger, an older case and a truly bizarre one. Unterweger. Letitia is on the list. Thank you, Sprinkle Donut, but Letitia is definitely on the list already. Jack Unterweger. All right. Oh, okay. Amazon and Peacock got it. All right. Next one. Question number 5. What was the real reason Dalia wanted her husband dead instead of getting a divorce, which he would have given her? Was it A, her new lover talked her into it? B, it excited her to know he was dead? C, pure greed? D, she is 100% innocent, just look at her? Or E, other? Rykar says Sarah Boone fought for her life as her boyfriend was trapped in the suitcase, was going to kill her, is what she said. So she had to beat the suitcase with a baseball bat. Kitty Q, Pippadot, Sprinkle Donut, Gianna Marie, and Sal are all going with C. Question number 5. Was in prison for murder, and a bunch of dummies campaigned to get him released, including a lot of celebrities. He got released and did more killing. Well, I think I've heard about that before, Cement Shoes. That sounds familiar. Question number 5. All right, the correct answer to question number 5 is C as in cat. Black Chateau. Good evening, Black Chateau, and welcome to tonight's trivia. C as in cat is the correct answer to question number 5. Question number 6. How much did she initially offer the undercover cop to kill her husband? Was it A, $2,000 in cash and one diamond ring? B, $1,000 in cash? C, $100,000 in cash and diamonds? Or D, $7,000 in cash from the life insurance? Or E, other? Probably got beat up on the playground a lot with her last name. How much did she initially offer the undercover cop to kill her husband? Question number 6 of 20. She could have taken 10 years in 2020. They reoffered to her 15 in 2024 with time served. Now she's guaranteed 22 and a half life. I prefer life. Kitty Coo's D, I think. Sal's going with D, and so is Gianna Marie. Question number 6 of 20. Purple is going with D as well. Reichardt says it's E, 144,000 in cash, no less. Black Shadow is going with E. Pippa C. Cement Shoes is going with B. How much did she offer to have another person's life taken away? Question number 6 of 20. The correct answer to question number 6 is D, as in dog. $7,000 in cash from the life insurance. $7,000 is what she offered the undercover detective to kill her husband initially. Why do you think diamonds? Because originally she had offered not initially at first, but later on, she offered to sweeten the deal if she could have it done by a certain date by adding in her diamond wedding ring. But it was $7,000 in cash was the initial offer. Did you know, after her initial conviction for hiring a hitman to kill her husband, Dalia got off pretty light by all standards. She only received a sentence of 20 years. 84% of all alike convictions in the state of Florida have received 25 to life. One book of Wendy's free Frosty coupons. $500 lemon pie says $500 of Monopoly money. Question number 7. What year did the first trial of Dalia Dippolito take place? Was it A, 2009, B, 1999, C, in the year 2525, if man is still alive, or D, 2011, or E, other? Saying goes, he, she is a lifer. He's from here, from Colorado. Watts Morphe. This girl was so crazy. Question number 7 of 20. What year did the first trial of Dalia Dippolito take place? Sprinkle Dawn, Kitty Q, Gianna Marie. Question number 7. Black Shadow's going with D as well. Purple, Sal, Pippa, Gianna Marie. D seems to be a popular one. Question 7. What year? Rackar is going with D. Wait, first trial? Am I being deceived? No. LOL. Kitty Coo. The correct answer is D, as in dog. 2011 was the first trial of I can speak. 2011 was her first case, the first trial. We'll get into it here in a minute. How was Dalia Dippolito caught on camera discussing her plot to have her husband killed and flirting with the man she believed would be the killer? Was it A, she recorded it herself, B, the police recorded it, C, she was caught on CCTV from a business, D, her accomplice recorded, or E, other? My cousin has a book on Amazon. She's dead, but July printed Dorothy Boschert. Is that it? I don't have my glasses on. I think that's a S. On Death Dying. Oh, that's neat. Your cousin? Juicy Jules. Well, C. Kitty Q. Pippin are going with B. Anna Marie and Sprinkled Donut and Sal are all going with B as well. Black Shadow as well are going with B. Question number 8 of 20. Bad boys, what you gonna do? All right? Karen, good evening, Karen, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I'm glad you could be here with us tonight, Karen. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Just Jules is going with D. Cement B as well. All right, question number 8. Viral TikTok. How did Dalia Dippolito was caught on camera? The correct answer is B as in boy. The police recorded it. The undercover officer who was acting as the hitman actually wore a hidden camera and microphone and recorded the entire conversation. And on top of that, the vehicle that they met in was already set up as, as part of a sting. They've used this vehicle for multiple different stings in the past. But she was caught by the police recording it. And one of the things throughout the entire thing she could never get away from was, why would you be doing this, and why did you say this, and here it is on video for the jury to see. Talk about a smoking gun, for the state. Question number 9. What happened to the first verdict that found Dalia guilty and sentenced her to 20 years in prison? Was it A, was thrown out over misconduct charges? B, thrown out over she is innocent? C, thrown out over successful appeal? D, thrown out over she could just pay a fine? Or E, other? I love trivia and true crime. This is great. Well, great, Black Shadow. I'm glad you enjoy it. I hope you can make it back. We are here every single Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States, whichever time zone is closer to you. I think it's like 11 o'clock at night in the UK. I'm not sure about that, though. Don't quote me on that one. But what happened to the first verdict that found her guilty and sentenced her to 20 years in prison? Question number 9 of 20. Got cute black and guinea pig, my granddaughter's cookie. Thrown out when she told everyone that she's a Christian. Thrown out because the judge thought that she was kind of hot. Lemon pie. East Coast. Question number 9. The correct answer is C as in cat. The first conviction, first trial, she was found guilty and given a sentence of 20 years in prison. But on appeal, they won the actual appeal and were granted a new trial because of jury misconduct. Instructions that were given to the jury and what the jury was shown and what they were told and how this jury selection happened. There were multiple different things when it came to the jury, but they only needed to win on one. So, but all 5 of those things were brought up on appeal, and the appeals court said, yes, she is granted hereby a new trial, and they stayed the conviction and then sent it back down to the court again. So she got a new trial because of the jury issues. All right. Next is, did you know, at the time of Dalia hired an undercover cop to kill her husband, to which she didn't know was a cop, she was actually a very successful real estate agent and was one of the top earners in her office and in her area there in Florida. She was a very successful real estate agent. Did you know that? Question number 10. Other inmates who have had to serve time with Dalia all describe her as being a blank to other inmates behind bars. Is it A, a know-it-all and a self-centered B, a polite and helpful inmate, C, a high energy inmate, D, extremely demanding inmate, or E, other? Question number 10 of 20. Other inmates who have had to serve time with Dalia all describe her as being a what? She was catfished by the FBI and supposed to kill her. Was she a sex worker as well? I don't remember that her being a sex worker, Black Shadow. I mean, there are a lot of people out there that live double lives, though, so she could have been. I don't know for sure. Although I want A, I'm going with B, says Kitty Coo. Question number 10 of 20. Rackart's going with A. Gianna Marie, A, C. Pivot B, she's a faker. Ooh, I think Purple's got the winning answer, ladies and gentlemen. Purple's going with A, B, C, and D. I think that's how she met her husband. Turning tricks for tricks. She was an escort. I know she was an escort at one point, Karen. But that doesn't necessarily equate to a sex worker, though. There are people that just love the money by taking people to fancy places and getting dressed up. E, a double dipper with the chips and dip. Take a bite and puts it back in the dip. Gross, says Lemon Pie. Question number 10. The correct answer is A, as in apple. She's other inmates who have had to serve time with her describe her as a know-it-all, someone who has been through it all and experienced everything, and that she's a real B to all the other inmates, especially those that she believes are beneath her. That is how former inmates have described who Dalia Dippolito is. All right, that is the first 10 questions. After the first 10 questions, we always take a break. For the next 6 minutes, we are on break. Do what you need to do for the next 6 minutes. Go smoke a bowl. shotgun some beer, make a sandwich, use the facilities, do whatever you need to do for the next 6 minutes. 6-minute break. Would it be? Surprised she hasn't had her ass handed to her. Yeah, right? You forgot her husband's first name, Cement Shoes. Her husband's name is Michael. Well, former husband. Break time. Do, 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 do. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. Run into the Love's truck stop or wherever you need to go, right, Cart? Microwave your dinner, whatever you're doing. You got 6 minutes. Well, 5 minutes and 10 seconds now. She probably believes all the other inmates are beneath her. I'm surprised. Some big mama didn't rearrange her face yet. It's probably coming. Saga now. Good evening, sir. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I'm sure she has a girlfriend in prison. I'm sure she probably does too. Right, Cart? I'm really messed up that other than plotting to kill him. She did him so dirty. All right? Or she did a lot more than just to hire an undercover cop to kill him. But we'll get into that as the trivia night goes on. Ooh, record. I'm eating Taco Bell. Tacos from Taco Bell. I actually went to Del Taco today. Del Taco. I had, I guess it's basically their version of the Gordito taco. But, yep, first time this month I've eaten out, and probably the last time that I'll eat out this month. I was kind of stuck there for a while. Well, I was at a grocery store next to it, but their entire damn system went offline, computer system, the grocery store, while we were in line, and nobody could do anything while they had to reboot the entire computer system. You couldn't pay for groceries, nothing. They couldn't even open the register drawers to take cash from you. Nothing. I mean, when I say they couldn't do anything at all, I mean they couldn't do anything. We're all just standing there waiting, and I'm like, how long is this going to take? And they're like, it could take up to 10 minutes. So the grocery store has a Del Taco in it. So I walked over there and got a taco thing, and then a drink. You used to have a Del Taco years ago. They're one of the fastest growing franchises in America, from what I understand. Did you see Alex at Del Taco? It was Alex's favorite taco place. No. And Sal says, I like Del Taco, but don't have any here. Oh, I'm sorry. None where Pipitot is either. We have 1 minute and 25 seconds left. 1 minute, 25 seconds of it. Battling a head cold here. I feel like I've been partying since 1978. Your brain is foggy. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better soon. I hope you feel better soon. Kitty Q, I had hot wings my brother-in-law made. Oh, that sounds good. The only place we have around here that serves hot wings besides bars is we have a Buffalo Wild Wings, but the Buffalo Wild Wings is about 12 miles from me. It's another. I have to drive all the way through my town and almost all the way through the next town over till you get to Buffalo Wild Wings. I like wings. It's just easier to make them at home, though. 20 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1. We're back. New feature that I'm adding to the trivia nights is called corrections and stuff. These are corrections or things that people think are correct, need correction from previous trivia nights. For the first episode of this, we're going back to a couple weeks ago to H.H. Holmes. The question on the trivia night was, what did H.H. Holmes do for employment right after high school? Was it a police officer, janitor, school teacher, stock trader, or other? The correct answer is he was a school teacher. And I want to thank everyone for messaging me and those who left comments telling me he never was a school teacher as H.H. Holmes. He was a school teacher as Herman Mudgett. While I understand technicality of this question, the name H.H. Holmes is still referring to the same man. So the answer, if you answered D 2 weeks ago when we covered H.H. Holmes, go ahead and give yourself an additional correct answer on that trivia night. Again, H.H. Holmes, Herman Mudgett, whichever. He was a school teacher as Herman Mudgett. Yes, he was, but he took on the persona and the fake name of H.H. Holmes. So I did say that if you answered C was the correct answer during trivia night, but D is, if you answered E other, not D other, but E other, you give yourself an additional credit. All right. Now back to tonight's trivia. Question number 11 out of 20. How long did the jury deliberate after her third trial before again finding her guilty on all counts? Was it A, 6 days and 3 hours? B, 90 minutes, including a lunch break? C, 3 days, including a weekend plus 2 hours? D, 18 minutes, long enough to take a vote? Or E, other? You got it wrong twice. I think I can't remember what I answered. Will did a boo-boo. I'm only human, just like everyone else here. I would assume that we're all human. I am human, for therefore I am flawed. But how long did the jury deliberate after her third trial? Yes. So the first trial, we know what she was found guilty, and then she won it on appeal. They sent it back down to the court. She got a second trial, and then she got a third trial. But how long did the jury deliberate before coming back and finding her guilty on all counts again? Black Shadow is going to go with A. Pippadot, B, Sal, B, Kitty-Coo, B. Long enough to order fancy makeup. How long did they take to deliberate the third time? Question number 11 of 20. What happened with the second trial? Hung. I believe it. And then the third trial, guilty again. Karen's going with B, sprinkled donut. D, possibly, or B, hell, I have no clue. I'm only human. Yep. All right. The answer to question number 11 is B as in boy. Just in time there, right, Cart? B as in boy. 90 minutes. And they took a 30-minute lunch break. So for 60 minutes, they actually deliberated. And when they, after the trial was concluded, I don't know if you've ever served on jury duty, but this is basically after you turn in your jury, the judge reads the verdict, and then they then either have a sentencing phase that's held later on, or in some places, in some states, in certain jurisdictions, it's guilty, and they read the actual sentence then as well. But anyways, and after all of that is done, and the defendant has been taken away if they're found guilty. After all of that, the state, the prosecution, and the defense have the right to ask, to poll the actual jury members. They can say, during the actual case, do you all agree to this verdict? Yes, say yes. They all agree. All right. And then they can ask, if the jury members want to, it's completely optional. They can, stick around and they can answer questions for the state or for the defense, or both. Mainly, it's a lot of times it's the defense. Why did you rule this way? What was the one thing that made you think, vote for guilt over innocence in this? But when they actually polled, of the 12 juror members, only 5 of them stuck around to answer questions for the actual state and for the defense. And all 5 of them said they could not find her innocent because of the video and audio recordings of her confessing and trying to hire the hitman. That was the most damning thing against her in the third trial. They could not get past that, because you see her sitting there and being all cute and everything in that outfit that she's wearing right there. And then you see her on video telling this person she wants her husband dead. But we'll get into more of that as we go on here. Question number 12. What had Dalia planned to do once her husband was murdered? We're looking for the first thing besides cash the insurance check. Was it A, start writing her autobiography? B, sell personal items of her dead husband? C, call Barry Morphew and confess her love? D, contact a talent agent to get on the Jersey Shore? Or E, other? They wanted filet mignon after dealing with her. Free tacos. Kitty and Cement Shoes are going with B. Gianna Marie is going with B as well. Reichardt, go sing Elton John songs. Black Shadow, Sal, Karen, and Pippadot are all going with B. Purple going with B. Agonel's going with E, other. She went to Disneyland. Now that you've killed your husband, what do you want to do next? I want to go to Disneyland. Go buy a mountain lion, says Sprinkled Donut. What had Dalia planned to do once her husband was murdered? The correct answer is B as in boy. Sell personal items of her dead husband. She had already planned, okay, like a checklist. hire hitman, have him killed, act surprised, act like I'm in mourning, and then sell his stuff off, for more money to get rid of everything that he had. Question number 13. How much has the 3 trials, investigators, and expert testimony cost Dalia Dippolito? By the way, the state will most likely have to finish paying for her. Was it A, nothing? The state has to pay it all. B, just under $500,000. C, just under $1 million. D, $321,803.19. Or E, other. How much has the 3 trials, investigators, and expert testimony costed? And in the actual cost of the trial itself, again, that would be attorney's fees and everything else would be in there as well. But how much did it cost? A sprinkled donut from Barry. Sprinkled donut and black shadow are going with C. Sal's going with A. Kitty Kid is going with B. Question mark. Right card's going with E. 144,000. 144,000. How much did it cost for 3 trials? Expert witnesses, investigators, court costs, all of it. How much did it cost? Pippa Dot's going with C. Inner P says E, 5,000%. Sure, I don't know. Question number 13. The correct answer is D as in dog. $321,803.19. After the trial is over with, if you have a public defender in a case, let's just use that as an example, they submit and they get so much per hour for casework. And her attorneys also they get paid so much per hour from her or whoever is footing the bill. Maybe, an aunt or an uncle or something, is putting up the money, or they put up collateral. They submit their bills. And so do the people who are travel for, the expert testimony or investigators in the case. If they're going to look at, the video, they might charge a flat rate or they charge a per hour basis. But the total bill came to $321,803.19 exactly is what the 3 trials altogether cost. Did you know Dalia once dreamed of being a professional dancer, a ballerina? She had some of the talent, but lacked the follow through, according to her instructor. She once took ballet and dreamed of becoming a professional ballet dancer. But she had some of the talent, but she lacked the follow through. Question number 14. According to law enforcement, the hiring of the undercover cop to kill her husband wasn't the only act she had taken. What else did she do? Pick 2. 2 of these are right and 2 of these are wrong. So if you get any of them of the right ones, consider it. You've got this question right. You don't have to get them both. Was it A, search the internet for ways to kill? B, search the internet for other killers? C, purchase a gun to do it herself? Or D, try to get a gang member to do it? Pick 2 of them. A, B, C, D, or E. 2 of them are right and 2 of them are wrong. But she did 2 of them. Excuse me. Scroll up so I can read The funniest part of her videos is when she tells her that her husband is dead. Then she walks from cop to cop, trying to hug or embrace them, and they all have the same reaction and refuse. Yeah, right. It's like she had like the cooties or something. And none of them were like, "Hey, ooh, hold on here." Kitty Coo is going to go with D and B. She is definitely a narcissist. Black Shadow. Anna Marie is going with A and D. Cement Shoes going with B and D. Sprinkle Donuts, C and D. Karen, A and D. Sal, A and D. Pippa, B and D. According to law enforcement, the hiring of the undercover officer to kill her husband wasn't the only action taken. What else did she do? Question number 14 of 20. The correct answers are A, she searched the internet for ways to kill, and D as in dog. A and D are the correct ones. She tried to get a gang member to hire him to be the actual contract killer to kill her husband. So if you got either A or D as one of the ones that you guessed, you got this question correct. But she searched the internet, and that was found on her home computer and her work computer, ways to kill people. And she tried to hire a gang member to kill her husband. All right. Question number 15. What did her defense team argue as a defense to the entire plot to hire a contract killer to kill her husband? Was it A, it was a scripted reality show? B, the police framed her? C, Snooki made her do it? Or D, got the idea from Chad Daybell's books? Or E, other? You can also see the look of fear on their faces, showing their fear of catching whatever case of crotch cooties she has. Oh, okay. I thought I needed both. Oh, give me half point. Nope. If you got either one of either A or D, you get the whole point. Whole point. If you got either one of the two, A or D. She's scary. Stop showing her pictures, Will. Well, there are 5 more after this one. But she's not in all 5. No, she's not. Rykar's going with D, of course. What did her defense team argue as a defense for the entire plot to hire a contract killer to kill her husband? The correct answer is A as in apple, that it was a scripted reality show. That was one of their excuses for their defense, that it was a scripted reality show and none of it was real. That's one of the actual defenses that she used. Question number 16. What infamous line did Dalia Dippolito say not once but several times to the undercover officer regarding her desire to have her husband murdered? Was it A, he needed to die? B, he had to die? C, I'm 5,000% sure I want this done? Or D, after you kill him, want to have drinks? Or E, other? What infamous line did Dalia Dippolito say not once but several times to the undercover officer regarding her desire to have her husband murdered? How much are the Daybells going for these days anyways? The books, the books of Chad Daybell, most of them go for about $11 to $17. There are some places like you can find them on Amazon that where people are selling them for more. But those are third-party sellers who are pricing the books out that way. fulfillment by Amazon. She loved him 5,000%. And of course, this is all recorded on video and audio. The infamous line that she said. We got C, 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 C. I think everybody's going with C. Forgot to put myself up in my little window there. Oh, well, it's a little window. All right, the correct answer to question number 16 is C, as in cat. I am 5,000% sure I want this done. C, as in cat. Did you know the Boynton Beach Police Department is very good, it appears, at doing these hitman for hire stings? Dalia Dippolito's case was actually the 5th such case they've done. 3 were in their own jurisdiction, and the other 2 were with the Dade County Sheriff's Department. The Boynton Police Department, this is the 5th time that they have been involved in a murder for hire plot. 5. But the other ones, the other 2 they did with the Dade County Police Department. Question number 17 of 20. What did Dalia Dippolito's husband, Michael, do for a living where she tried to frame him for crimes to get rid of him before the plot to have him killed? And that is a picture of him and not Dalia. Next to him, that is his new fiance who is in the picture with him. Was it he a porn star, B, a professional poker player, C, finance, or D, a real estate broker, or E, other? You just read about one in Texas. Most hire hitmen are cops. Rycourt, NBC. What did Dalia Dippolito's husband, Michael, do for a living where she tried to frame him for crimes to get rid of him before the plot to have him killed? And Inner Peas just read about a murder for hire plot in Texas. I was reading about one in Massachusetts that is currently, they have the wife in actual jail, but she tried to hire her brother-in-law. Yeah, the guy's own brother. I think she may have been having an affair with him, though, in that case. But hire one brother to kill the other. Well, at least it sounds like, that love triangle kind of thing. But that's out of Massachusetts, I believe. But interesting. I'm going to look to see if I can find the one about in Texas. She put drugs in his car. Purple, Pippa Dot are going with D. Sal, Karen, everybody else seems to be going with D. Question number 17 of 20. The correct answer is C, as in cat. He was in finance, which was part of real estate, but he was also in finance of homes. That was his main job, he was in finance. And you need someone to underwrite, and do all the paperwork to buy a home. And she was a real estate agent, but he worked in the finance part of it. But he was not a real estate broker, nor did he have a license to be a broker. Loves the sun. Good evening, love the sun. I hope you're doing well. But yes, she tried to frame him for, misappropriation of funds. She tried to, do a bunch of other things to get him arrested and have him sent away to get rid of him, to get him out of her life. And then when none of those things worked, of framing him for all these other crimes and misappropriation and all this other stuff. And she said, "Well, I guess I'm just going to hire someone to kill him." All right, cool. Question number 18. What was the final outcome of the third trial and final trial? Was it A, guilty, solicitation first degree, B, guilty, murder first degree, C, not guilty, all charges, or D, not guilty, probation and fine, or E, other? I really wanted him to be a porn star who professionally played poker. Top picture is of his current wife. Are they married now? Now, we're talking about, this is actually Dalia here with him, but last I heard that he was engaged to be married. If I'm hopeful that he's married and happy now. Michael, her ex. That's got to be hard to live, and trust people afterwards. It's like your wife, the person supposed to have your back, for better or for worse, death do you part. I mean, your wife was taking that literally, to the point where she was going to have him killed for $7,000. And that's insane. I didn't follow, so I'm just hoping. I did see he remarried. Oh, that's cool, Sal. I wasn't aware of that. I knew he was engaged because the article that I got that actual picture from, just it talked about the new love of his life and how he it recently become engaged. So, I'm glad for him. I'm happy that he's able to to get past this and move on and trust people, because that would be hard. I know if my wife had hired someone to kill me, I know I'd be pretty bummed about it. But I mean, how do you move on from that? The one person that's supposed to have your back. All right, question number 18. The correct answer is A as in apple. Guilty, solicitation, first degree. I didn't see what she actually ended up with. 16 years. 16 years on the one charge of solicitation, first degree. If you ever accidentally answer an unknown call, just answer by saying no or stop. And scammers or salesmen have to leave you alone. And NBC, the more you know moment. I would hope that would work, Rykart. But yeah, I have probably gotten 30 calls in the last 2 weeks for please help donate money to the Trump campaign. And every one of them, they're coming from out of state. I don't know if they spoofed their location or what, but I mean, I'm in Washington State, and these ones are like Florida, California, Ohio, Iowa. Give money to the Trump campaign, and that's like, no, I don't. I already gave money to the campaigns that I wish to support, and they don't take no for an answer. Well, it's really important at this time. I'm like, click, I hang up, and then they call back the next day or later on the same day. Anyways, moving on. Question number 19. How many people knew Dalia was planning or at least looking for someone to kill her husband, yet he was completely clueless to it all? Was it A, 5 people, B, 7 people, C, 3 people, D, 2 people, or E, other? The more you know. Da, 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 da. How many people knew that Dalia was planning to kill her husband? Block them? Yeah, I've tried that. Tried blocking them before. But these robocalls, and people who do these, these actual physical calls, Black Shadow, they just change their number. They have these computer programs that that change their location and their number that they're calling from constantly. Blocking them only blocks that one number, and then they're right back with another. But it's a good idea. I wish it's just like I'm on the national do not call list for solicitations, but it doesn't stop any of them. I still get them all the time. The police department knew, and her ex-current lover, she tried to hire, says inner peace. Kitty Q is going with D question mark. Purple's going with C. Sal C as well. I get so many, of these calls and emails from solicitors all the time. If I answered half of my calls, I'd never get anything done. And that's the truth. You get on some like call lists, like, hey, you go to Comic-Con and you end up on you buy your ticket to go, and everything else to go to Comic-Con, and then you end up on a list, and then every science fiction publication out there starts sending you emails because they bought your name off of a list, and so on and so forth and down the line. I'm just using that as an example. All right, question number 19. The correct answer is C as in cat. 3 people knew. Her accomplice, her cohort, the police, and another friend of hers knew that she was trying to find someone who could take her husband out, but yet her husband was completely clueless. If you ever get a chance, put her name into YouTube and find the YouTube video of her, the episode from Cops with her on it. The look on his face when they came to tell him that your wife has hired an undercover police officer, as who she believed is a hitman to kill you. And he's just like, what? It's classic. No and stop has worked for me. I don't answer by conversation, and they've left me alone. I don't even say hello to them. I block all unknown callers on your phone, says Sprinkled Donut. I get phone calls sometimes, that are collection companies. They're looking for someone. I can't remember the last guy that they were calling me for, and I'm like, that's not. You got the wrong number. And they're like, no, this is the number that we have on file that for this debt. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't care because that's not me. And then that collection company just sells it off to another, and to another, and to another. It's just like, man, I don't know how the hell you guys have got my number somehow, but it's not me. I'm not, that person. Look on her face when she sees him. Yeah, right. That's another classic moment right there when they tell her he's not really dead and that the gig is up. Did you know? Try to follow along with these excuses as to why Dalia was trying to hire a hitman to kill her husband. First, it was a reality TV plot. Then it was the police were setting her up and framed her. Then it was a plot to make a viral video that her husband was actually part of. Then it was a case of mistaken intent, that she was doing research on how it's all done and wouldn't have actually had the killer kill him in the first place. Those are all excuses that she used throughout the 3 trials. That it was a reality TV show, like test pilot that they were filming. That the police, then when that wasn't working, it was, oh, the police are setting me up. I've been framed. Then it was, we're making a viral video and he knows about it, but he's not going to admit to it because he doesn't want to go to jail. She tried all of those excuses throughout the 3 trials. Question number 20 of 20. During the 3rd and final trial, how many times was the case paused, jury sent to chambers, so Dalia could compose herself and be able to answer questions? Was it A, 8 times, B, 5 times, C, 3 times, D, 2 times, or E, other? The full-blown narcissist? Yeah, Reichard, she is. I don't know if she's been formally diagnosed as being a narcissist, but she seems to definitely check off all the boxes. Is her mom taking care of the baby? Don't know. I do not know what happened to everybody. I know Michael moved. I don't think he lives in the state of Florida anymore. If he does, and then again, I probably does live in Florida. Now the last update I read, he was engaged, and you guys are saying that he's married. So maybe he still lives in Florida. I don't know. I didn't follow up too closely, I guess, on the current events on it. I'm guessing because she's so extreme. But each time that it was paused, she got to the point where she was answering questions and it was becoming so emotional. She was like stuttering, and crying at the same time, and wiping away her crocodile tears. They had to pause it. They gave her a tissue. She wasn't able to answer the question, so they sent the jury back, to chambers, and then let her compose herself, and then brought the jury back in and started all over again. But how many times did they actually have to do that during the 3rd and final trial? Question number 20 of 20. All right, the correct answer to question 20 is C as in cat. 3 times. They had to pause, send the jury to chambers, let her compose herself, and then bring the jury back, and then start the questioning, again. And that was just in the 3rd and final trial. This is completely optional for those who are new here and just listening or following along today for the first time. You do not have to give yourself a letter grade. But don't forget, next up we have the cold case of someone who is missing or endangered. So don't take off yet. But you can give yourself a letter grade. Some people like to, some people don't. But again, we are doing this just for entertainment and for knowledge, educational purposes. Some people like to give themselves a letter grade. All right, of the 20 questions on tonight's trivia, how many did I know before putting together this entire trivia night? I knew 9. I would have gotten a C for tonight's grade. I knew 9 of the 20, not even 50%. How many years does she just serve? It's close to the 20 years that Cement and Sal said. But she got 16 years on just the one count of the hiring of the hitman. She got 16 years on that one charge alone. That was the one that they really wanted to get her for, because on that one charge, she has to do 75% of the sentence guideline. So if they give her 16 years, she has to do 75% of that by itself. She cannot get any lower on, for good behavior, overcrowding, COVID release, compassion release, nothing. She has to do 75% on that, just that one charge alone. The other charges, I think she got 5 years or maybe 5.5 years on the other charges. Insurance fraud was in there as well. I never keep count. Untouchable rock star Barry Mountain Lion Morphew, says Rycard. All right. Next, you could help solve a cold case or help bring closure to a family. That tiny little piece of information that you may know may be the one thing that helps, solve a cold case. Tonight's is a little bit different than all the other ones. You'll see in just a minute. Again, I am doing this with the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NAMUS, the Charlie Project, along with the FBI. All the links to all three of their 4 of their sites are in blue. And before someone puts it in the comments section, because they keep on doing it anyways, I'm not paid to do this. I do this just to bring awareness to these missing cases. If you ever go to the Charlie Project and click on it, you can search by alphabetical or by state or location, and you'd be surprised where you are, how many people are probably missing within a 50-mile radius of wherever you are. It's shocking how many people are missing out there. And going back to the 1930s, some of these cases are, that are on there. You would be surprised. Tonight's is a little bit different. All 3 of the men you see there in front of you are all missing and have vanished without a trace. Of course, these are all their driver's license photos. We'll start from the left and go right. First is Morgan Westerland Thomas. In the middle with the glasses is Wilbur Leroy Thompson. And then on the end is Jason Allen Britton. Take a good look at their faces. All 3 of these men vanished without a trace. There is no drug or alcohol issues involved here that would make them, disappear. There is no mental health issue that is known that would make them want to take their own lives or put them at risk for, risky behavior. And all 3 of these men are, left behind jobs, family, money, belongings, multiple vehicles, but they all vanished. And additionally, all 3 of these men are missing from the state of California, and they're all missing from the northern part of the state of California, up north of Los Angeles. They're missing from that part of the state. The reason I am featuring these 3 men and not an individual breakdown of their cases is because all 3 of these men are now being featured on Interpol, and that is the international law enforcement agency, Interpol. And the reason why is there is a slight chance that one of these men that you see right here in front of you may have actually decided to just walk away from their lives. I cannot tell you which one it is, but take a good look at these photos. One of these men may be alive and well internationally right now, and no, they're not living in some kind of, cushy seaside resort in the Caribbean. They have just picked up and walked away from their life. One of them, possibly, it's not confirmed that it is the individual. But Morgan, Wilbur, and Jason, all 3 of them, again, they had good jobs. They had money in the bank. They had money on them at the time. They had multiple belongings, cars, vehicles, homes, other things, and they're all missing. And nobody knows what happened to any of these men. for sure as of right now. Again, one of them may have been spotted outside of the U.S. and may have walked away, and that's why all three of them again are being spotted on Interpol, law enforcement website. And I want to thank you all for being here again for trivia night. It means the world to me that you guys are here to want to take part in this. I hope you had fun. Are they wanted, Reichart? No, they are not. None of the men are wanted for error or associated with any type of criminal behavior or anything. Kitty Q, I think it's Wilbur. Not confirmed, but just going on the pictures. Wow, I'm that person. I always wondered why someone would willingly walk away from everything. Well, Black Shadow, I'll tell you about a case that I featured not too long ago here on Trivia Night about a woman who was missing. She had a job, she had her own home, she had everything from the outside looking in that she was successful. Everything looked great. But she walked away willingly from everything, left it all behind. She left her purse, her personal identification, bank cards, everything. Why did she walk away from her life? She walked away because she fell in love with a man that she knew her family wouldn't agree, that she should be involved with. And not because of what I did by featuring her, but shortly thereafter, around the time that I featured her here, she got in contact with her mother and let her mother know that she had married to this man. They've been together for about 16 years at that point. That's how long she had been listed as missing. It was about 16 years. And that, her mom was now a grandmother. And that she would be in contact and was going to make arrangements to come back and visit her mom. That's just one circumstance. Another one that I didn't get a chance to feature, but I was actually planning on putting it on Trivia Night, like these three men. Why did he walk away from his life? He wasn't in love with his wife anymore, and he didn't want to divorce her because no one in his family had ever divorced. And he felt that if he divorced and walked away, divorced her, that it would be a black eye on his family. Nobody, ever in their family had ever been divorced. So he decided that he was going to just take his money, that he had and leave some in the bank so nobody knew what happened to him, and he was going to walk away and move to, I think he moved just across like the state border from like Idaho to Montana, to like Helena, Montana, or someplace like that, just across the border in the upper part by the Canadian border. And he started a whole new life, a new name, and he got identification underneath that name. And he started all over again and decided he was just going to do what he wanted to do, where he felt trapped in the life that he had before. But he left everything behind. So that's just two. Wow, I can see a young person doing it. That I suppose. Yeah, that guy was in, I think it was like 50, something like that, 52 when he did it. But he had been gone, I want to say 9 years. So he was like 60, 61 when they found, when everything caught up with him. And it turned out that what tripped him up was he ended up going into the hospital and he got sick, or he needed like a bone marrow transplant or something. And they started, looking for matches, and they found a match in Idaho, and that match, just happened to be a family member, but they didn't know that this person was the person that they were going to be donating it to. And short story, version of this, they matched it up and they realized, shit, we know where he is now. He changed his name. He moved away, got a completely different job from anything that he had ever had an experience at doing. People do it in America, in the United States of America. Shadow, sorry, Black Shadow. I'm reading your name and I'm drawing a blank on it. Like 1 million people in America disappear every single year. 1 million. Of that 1 million people that disappear in America, better than 90% are found within a short period of time afterwards. Someone fills out a missing person report. Maybe you lived in an apartment complex and the neighbor next door left all their stuff in their furniture and everything else in their apartment. And they just vanished one day. Well, they come to kick that person out because they haven't paid rent, and they haven't responded to any of the letters from the landlord in the apartment complex. And they find the person hasn't been there, mail piled up in the mail slot or whatever. They just moved away and didn't bother to tell people. People do stuff like that all the time. I don't want to pay for this place anymore. I don't want this shit. So they move. Voluntarily go missing, 411 now, right? There are a lot. 1 million people on average go missing in America every year. And that statistic of 1 million is from like 1988 going forward, from 1988. They didn't keep really good statistics on how many missing persons reports were filed before then. You also have to understand that back then, if a child went missing, depending upon the age before 1988, they used to say, well, you got to give it 24 hours before we go look for that person. If you wait 24 hours to go looking for a missing child, bad things are going to happen, or going to end up happening to that child. So a lot of laws were changed, and when I say child, I mean anyone under the age of 18. That's teenagers down to, to toddlers, the little kids. There are countless stories of, little boy, maybe 12, 13 years of age out on paper route delivering newspapers who just vanished. What happened to him? From rural America, where did he go? And they never find him. And then 40 years later, man's on death row and he admits that he killed the kid, or that he says he did. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. We don't know. Sir Morbid, do you watch him? Having big live tonight? Well, all his lives are long. I have never heard of Sir Morbid. That's interesting. Send Duty Run prayers. Yeah, I texted him yesterday after my live stream. He got back to me pretty quickly. Sad. In case you're not aware of it, Duty Ron has been diagnosed with cancer. So, go over to his channel, drop him a comment, on his video, wishing him well. I would really appreciate it too. I really appreciate all the help that Ronald, has been, Duty Ron, has been to me and to so many others. Pippadot, you taking off? You have a great week. And thank you for being here with us tonight. Prayers for Duty Ron, yes. I pray for Duty Ron and for his wife and his kids. His kids are all grown, but it's still, it's still hurting and affecting them anyways. Cancer sucks. Is he okay? Well, he seems to be in good spirits at this point. Who has cancer? What's the name of his channel? Saga now, his channel's name is Duty Ron. He's a retired New York City police officer, detective from the New York City Police Department. Well, thank you, Kitty Q. And I did check out his Facebook page, by the way. Thank you for sending me that link. Good night, Gianna Marie. You take care. Is he okay? PET scan? Get into that with him, Pippadot. If he wishes to share with his journey with me, privately, I'll follow along and I'll be with him. But at this point, he has not said anything about any testing or anything that's going on. I'll just say that. More about his Facebook posts. Yeah, cancer sucks. Thank you. I'd appreciate that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up tonight's trivia night there. Again, thank you everyone for being here on the way out. If you'll give this a thumbs up, it helps a tiny little bit, move up this trivia into the suggestions on YouTube. It doesn't do it takes a lot of people to build up any type of actual suggestion to move it out to more people. But every one of them helps. If you didn't enjoy it, give it a thumbs down as well. Because regardless of what people and all the haters out there and the trolls like to believe, a thumbs down or a thumbs up does not actually do any damage to the creator itself or to their content. It's just a metric of actual engagement. Is what a thumbs up and a thumbs down is. You want to tell people you don't like the content, put it in the comment section after the video. Doing it during a live stream doesn't count at all. It all it does is just shows that there's someone else engaged. But thank you for the fun trivia night. Subscribe, and I'm looking forward to more. Well, thank you, Black Shadow, and you have a terrific week ahead. Bye, everyone. In the meantime, take care of yourselves out there. Take care of the ones you're with.